The arrival of a US president for a British state visit is always a spectacle, a moment that commands the world's attention and brings together the highest echelons of power and tradition. The anticipation is palpable, with every detail scrutinized by the press and public alike. So when Donald and Melania Trump touched down in September 2025, the world's media was ready, cameras flashing, reporters jostling for position, and every network eager to capture the perfect shot. The visit promised drama, diplomacy, and a rare glimpse into the intersection of American and British power. Yet, as headlines rolled in and news tickers blared, something felt strangely out of place. The coverage was intense, but it was also oddly selective, focusing on certain faces while others faded into the background. The Daily Mail and other major outlets splashed their front pages with images of Trump, Melania, King Charles, and Kate Middleton. Their names dominated the headlines, their photos filled the columns, and their every move was dissected for meaning. But Prince William, the heir to the throne and a central figure in the royal family, was barely mentioned. His presence was almost an afterthought, his role diminished to the periphery. He was there, fulfilling his royal duties with the same composure and dedication he's known for, yet to the casual reader or viewer, he was nearly invisible, lost in the shuffle of more headline-grabbing personalities. In royal reporting, headlines are never accidental. Editors and journalists choose their words and images with care, knowing the power they wield in shaping public perception. William's omission wasn't a simple oversight. It was a deliberate editorial choice, a subtle but unmistakable statement about his current standing in the royal narrative. If the future king isn't considered headline material during a major international event, what does that say about the public's confidence in him, or the media's willingness to champion his role? A state visit is meant to showcase the monarchy's continuity and stability, to remind the world of the enduring nature of the royal institution. But this time, the media narrative seemed to erase William from the story, leaving him in the shadows. Instead of reinforcing his role as the next monarch, the coverage cast him as a supporting actor in his own family's drama, present but not pivotal, visible but not vital. This wasn't just a missed opportunity for positive press. It subtly undermined the very foundation of hereditary power, raising questions about the monarchy's future and the strength of its succession. The absence of a strong, visible heir left a void at the heart of the monarchy, a silence that spoke volumes about the challenges facing the royal family in a rapidly changing world. The focus on King Charles is expected. He's the sovereign, the host, the face of the monarchy. But the media's choice to spotlight Kate Middleton over her husband is notable. Kate frequently appears in headlines and photographs, drawing significant media coverage. She's often at the centre of royal events, her role extending beyond that of a consort. Meanwhile, William, the direct heir, fades into the background. The public is captivated by the king and the future queen, but oddly indifferent to the future king. This imbalance exposes a problem. William is dutiful, but not compelling enough to lead the narrative. If the heir can't command attention, it signals a crisis of confidence in his leadership. The monarchy's future depends on more than glamour and gravitas. It needs a visible, inspiring king-in-waiting. William's sidelining isn't new. It's a pattern, especially clear when compared to his brother Harry. When Harry visits, headlines explode with every move and word, overshadowing William's steady presence. William's work and duties are relegated to the background, his role defined by his reaction to Harry's drama. The media craves conflict and controversy, leaving William as a secondary character. This is dangerous for a future monarch. A king must lead, not just react. Harry, no longer a working royal, still dominates the news cycle, while William struggles to make an impact. The palace should be concerned. William isn't seen as a compelling or essential figure. Each major event that passes him by makes this failure more glaring. The monarchy needs a protagonist, not a bystander. Kate Middleton's media coverage starkly contrasts with William's. Every detail of her appearance and actions is documented, while William is often overlooked. The royal family has long relied on its women for glamour and public connection. But now, the focus on the consort comes at the heir's expense. Unlike Diana and Charles, where both had strong public profiles, William is eclipsed by Kate. His initiatives get respectful but fleeting attention. He's the future king, but she's the star. This imbalance is risky. The monarchy's stability depends on the perceived strength of the sovereign, not just the consort. If the public is more invested in the queen consort than the king, the power dynamic becomes unstable. William must find a way to step out of Kate's shadow and assert his own presence. Why is William so often overlooked? Despite being the heir to the throne, he sometimes seems to fade into the background, overshadowed by the personalities around him. The answer may lie in his carefully crafted public persona, which is often described as formal, measured, and even a bit distant. Charisma is crucial for a modern monarch. Elizabeth had stoic charm that inspired loyalty. Charles brings intellectual passion and a willingness to speak out. And Harry has an easygoing appeal that draws people in effortlessly. And Kate, with her approachable nature, has become a prominent figure at public events. William, by contrast, appears reserved and cautious, rarely letting his guard down in public. His demeanour is more about duty than dazzling the crowd. He projects reliability and stability, qualities that are important for a future king, but he doesn't radiate the kind of star power that captures headlines or hearts. This may be a deliberate strategy to avoid the pitfalls of overexposure and the relentless scrutiny that comes with fame, especially after witnessing the media's impact on his mother. But by keeping a low profile, he risks making himself almost invisible to the public, blending into the background of royal life. In a media landscape hungry for personality and drama, the lack of a compelling public image can be a major disadvantage. William's restraint is often interpreted as dullness or a lack of passion, making it harder for people to connect with him on a personal level. The monarchy must now compete for attention in a crowded, fast-moving world of news and social media. A future king who is perceived as uninspiring or disconnected risks fading into irrelevance, no matter how dutiful he may be. By staying in the background, William allows others to take centre stage and shape the royal narrative. He lets the media and public focus on Harry's rebelliousness or Kate's public image, rather than his own qualities and vision. In doing so, he cedes the spotlight to Kate and Harry, creating a leadership vacuum at the very heart of the monarchy. The public needs a king they can connect with, someone who inspires, engages, and represents the spirit of a new era. If William wants to lead the monarchy into the future, he must step forward, embrace the spotlight, and show the world who he truly is, or risk being left behind. The heir's invisibility poses real risks for the monarchy's future. The institution relies on projecting strength and continuity, with the successor's visibility key to public confidence. When William is overshadowed, it chips away at his image as a leader in waiting. The Prince of Wales should be building familiarity and trust, not fading into the background. If he ascends as a figure the public barely knows, he'll struggle to command loyalty and respect. A subdued heir creates a power vacuum, one that can be filled by other prominent figures. The monarchy can't rest its future on a consort, regardless of public attention. The crown must be worn by a monarch seen as the undisputed leader. If William remains a secondary figure, the institution he inherits will be weaker and less respected. The time to change this narrative is now. William's repeated omission from headlines is more than a media quirk. It's a subtle but powerful signal about his perceived relevance in the eyes of both the press and the public. When the future king is consistently left out of the national conversation, it raises questions about his ability to capture the imagination of the nation he is destined to lead. This isn't just about popularity. It's a verdict on his standing as the future king, and a reflection of the challenges he faces in stepping out from the shadows of his family. The press both reflects and shapes public perception. Their editorial choices can elevate or diminish a royal's stature almost overnight. When William is overlooked, it's not accidental. It's a sign of shifting priorities and interests within the nation. Their lack of focus on William signals a lack of faith in his ability to inspire and lead. He's diligent and responsible, often praised for his steady hand and sense of duty, but these qualities, while admirable, aren't translating into a commanding public presence. The monarchy thrives on charisma and connection, and William's reserved nature sometimes leaves the public wanting more. The media suggests William alone isn't enough to hold public interest. His story lacks the spark that keeps headlines alive and the nation engaged. He is often contrasted with the glamour and approachability associated with Kate, whose presence in the media has made her a frequent subject of coverage. Or the drama and unpredictability of Harry, whose every move generates headlines and stirs public debate, keeping the royal family at the centre of attention. This is a stark warning for his future reign. If William cannot find a way to connect more deeply with the public, the monarchy risks fading into the background. The monarchy needs a leader who can unite and inspire the nation, someone who can embody both tradition and progress, and rally people in times of uncertainty. William must step out of the shadows and assert his presence before it's too late. He has the potential, but he must seize the moment and redefine what it means to be a modern monarch. The palace must act now to ensure the next king is more than a supporting character in his own story. He must become the leading figure the nation needs for the future.